Hey, this is Mr. T with another sheet metal ductwork fabrication and layout. So today we're going to make a duct end cap. So end cap could be on the end of a plenum, end of a piece of ductwork, whatever the case might be. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're just put it on an 8-inch tap. So our duct is 8 by 8. But for our cap, we're going to actually subtract a 1/4 inch from each side. So it happens to be 8 by 8. So our cap should be 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. Now that pretty much goes with any plenum or duct end. Whatever your dimensions is, you want to subtract at least an 1/8 up to a 1/4 for our cap. So we've done our calculations and we've come up with 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. We're going to add 1 inch for our first bend and 3/4 inch for our overlap. So I have my 7 3/4 plus the 1 3/4 on each side, or 3.5 inches. So when I take that 7 3/4 and 7 3/4, add my 3.5 by 3.5, I end up with 11 1/4 by 11 1/4. So you could do a 1/2 and a 1/2, you could do a 1 and a 1, a 3/4 and a 3/4, depending on what your shop does as a standard. We're doing 1 inch and 3/4 for demonstration. So I have my piece cut to size. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark my 3/4 inch lines all the way around. Now this 3/4 inch line is actually going to end up being a down bend or an opposite bend. So a couple of things I could do. I could use a prick punch or a center punch or a scratch awl. And I could transfer these lines all to the other side. Or I can just take my scratch gauge and remark that perimeter. So I did my 3/4 all the way around on both sides. Next, from that 3/4 inch mark, I have to mark my 1 inch line. And again, I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. Again, we could do this a bunch of different ways. We could put one mark in the middle, use a combination square or framing square and draw that line, or we could mark both ends and connect those, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put 2 marks on either end, connect my lines. So I've marked my 1 inch perimeter. Next, I'd have to add my angles on all 4 sides. They should be between 15 and 30 degrees. I'm not going to mark the angles. I'm just going to actually use my snips, and I'm going to offset my cut by a 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch. And that's going to give me the angle I want. So now that I've done all my marking, all my dimensioning, I'm ready to start my forming. So I'm going to continue with my forming. my 3/4 inch line on the outside, I'm going to bend 180. So what that is I'm going to bend it all the way over and close it, but I'm not going to close it all the way. I'm going to keep it open slightly so it'll fit over the end of our duct. So I'm just going to work my way around the piece, bend all the way up, and close. I could do this on a bar folder. I could do this on a cleat bender. I'm going to just do it all with the hand brake. Important when you're working your way around. Pay attention when you're clamping so you don't miss what we want to remain open. So I've done my 4 perimeter bends, and I've left them at 180. So again, it's slightly open. All right, so now I've moved to the box and pan brake for my last 4 bends because I don't want to use a standard brake and clamp all the way across and squish my open bends.
Dial 113.
So I'm just going to work my way around all 4 sides and bend up my 90 degrees to finish my cover. Now, depending on the size of the cover, we might be cross-breaking this, which would have been done in between each step. But for demonstration for the size, I'm not cross-breaking. So I have my 4 bends. I still have the sides open so it can fit as a cap on my duct because I use the box and pan brake to do those last few bends. Last I just have to finish my assembly. A lot of times when we're doing a cap, you might need a flat blade screwdriver to do the 4th side. Usually 3 sides go on without a problem. That 4th side sometimes can give you a problem. So we're going to start at 1/4. And I'm starting with the corner that has my Pittsburgh block because that's usually the worst corner. Put that one in. My next corner. And work my way around. Again, depending on the size of the duct or funnel is going to depend on how easy or difficult that goes on. So last thing we do is we either bend over the corners or I'm going to use some self-tapping sheet metal screws and secure my cover. I'm just going to put 2 screws on opposite sides. And there you have a completed duct or plenum end cap. Yeah, depending on the size of our cap, our ductwork, our plenum, we would have up to 4 or 6 screws maybe on either side. Again, depending on the size of your cover or end cap.